a little short example of laws of exponents, and this being a product of two expressions. Number one, negative 2 is just a plain old number. This negative 2 over here is an exponent, and we want to treat numbers and exponents totally different. The rules don't apply to both of them. The second thing is the order of operation is going to come into play here. Since this square is on top of this expression, it locks the 3 in, and therefore you can't just multiply the negative 2 and the 3. This piece has to be dealt with first. Alright, so we'll just leave the first expression alone. So we get negative 2 x cubed y to the negative 2, and then we're going to basically just pretty much square everything on the inside. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is to deal with the negative exponent and push it to the bottom. You will also find that there are no order to the laws of exponents. So you can pretty much do them in any order. I try to do it the simplest way. So basically, power to a power, and all these little pieces on the inside are going to get squared. So this becomes 3 squared, which is 9. This is x to the negative 2 raised to the second. Well, power to a power you're going to multiply, so you're going to get x to the negative 4. And then here you just get y squared. Alright, now that we've gotten rid of that exponent, we can work between these two. Now when I say we're going to multiply the negative 2 and the 9, the property that's getting applied several times over is the commutative property. We're flipping the 9 and the y to the negative 2, and then the 9 and the x cubed, and eventually it ends up next to this negative 2. It's not the distributive property. I mean, it looks like I'm going distributive here, but it is just negative 2 times 9 using the commutative and associative properties. So this becomes negative 18. And the same reason that I can now multiply x cubed and x to the negative 4th. Now since we're doing base times base, the exponents are going to be added together. So that's going to be 3 plus and negative 4, better known as just negative 1. So we get x to the negative 1. And the same thing for y to the negative 2 times y squared. Add the exponents together and you're going to get y to the 0. Alright, and now we can start dealing with the negative exponents and some other things. For instance, this x to the negative 1, since it has a negative exponent on the wrong side of a fraction. This negative 18, though, is just a number, so it's just going to stay right where it is on the top of the fraction. And then this y to the 0, well, anything raised to the 0 is just equal to 1. Not y to the first, just 1. So if we break this down, I usually get the line in there first and then worry what's on the top and what's in the bottom. And then this y to the 0 literally is just, 1. I'm not going to write it in, but it's just 1, and 1 times negative 18 is negative 18. And there's your answer.